in Hong Kong and China for over a decade, and he currently lives in Toronto with his wife. And his book, Learning to Love China, is very, very good. I hadn't heard of it until I had lunch with him, and then I picked up a copy and I opened it and I read like the first paragraph and I went, "This is interesting, and I want to read more." And I did, and I really liked it. It is clever and satirical, and does that rare thing where it manages to carry off an ending that's like quite touching, but also a little bit unsettling, without being at all schmaltzy. So he has copies over there, and it's a good book. It's a kind of book that you don't run across very often in Canada, and you will really enjoy it if you buy one. And now I'll let him explain who's going to do
it. This is a prop, actually. So here's a copy of the book. Quattro, the same publisher as Erin's book. So thank you again, Erin, for inviting us. This is really an honor to be here with so many poets and writers. This is not really my scene. I haven't really done too many of these. So actually, the very first time I met Erin was a couple months ago at the launch in Toronto. And I didn't know anything about him. So we were talking about the book after, and he was asking me about it, and I said, "So have you heard of this thing called CanLit?" And I didn't know I was speaking to a professor of CanLit. So after I got home and I looked him up, I said, "Oh." Okay, so here we are. So the book is called Learning How to Love China. It's based on my experience in China. About 10 years I was living there. And what else? Oh, I have a book coming out with Mo Sakin Wing in a little bit, probably 2 or 3 years. Okay, so the scene that my wife will read, Kay will read, is it's a scene between the main character and her boyfriend. It's not a pivotal scene, but you can get an idea of the piece and the style of it. And there's also a mention of a holiday, a Chinese holiday, called Qixi holiday. It's Qixi. Thank you.
I just have been in Canada for 6 or 7 months, so my English is not perfect. It's Qixi Festival, but it is not a real holiday because you get no time off work. But anyway, it's a day especially celebrated by young couples. In Canada, it may be known as Valentine's Day, although the calendar dates of those two holidays do not coincide. Some of our young couples celebrate Valentine's Day, such as the one they celebrate in Canada. But you are impatient. You take whichever one comes first, or maybe both, fortune willing. Qixi is based on a romantic story about a cowherd and a weaver girl who are standard by their unapproved parents on each side of a river. Every year, for just one day, doves come down and make a bridge over which they may walk and be together. But this beautiful myth is not so interesting to you. You just want roses from Q. How many girlfriends have you had before Q? You ask. He is less than pleased with the direction of your conversation. But to you, Qixi it's the perfect time to quiz him on those issues. You always ask that question, he complains. Why not discuss something else? Because you never give me a straight answer. Fine, I only had 4 before. That's different from the last answer you gave me. Last time you had 3. What changed? You started dating another woman? No, it's the truth. I only had 4. Only? You say, that's a lot, okay? I don't want someone else use the goals. Come on, it's Qixi Festival. Give me a break. Don't you like your gift? Yeah, but you could have bought more roses. You hold up the 1 rose, which is cheap transparent plastic wrap and cheap ribbon. Like that. You always wanted someone to give you a rose. But now that you have it, it doesn't seem very special to you. You are also wearing a cheap necklace that he bought for you. Roses are expensive today, especially expensive, he says. 10 yuan for 1. Usually, it's not even half that price. Really? Not even half? Where do you usually buy roses? How come you know how much they usually cost? You know the price of them really well. You must have bought a lot for your girlfriends before, but only 1 for me. Is that all I'm worth to you? It's not that. You're confusing me, he said. Don't change the subject. Tell me about your first girlfriend. Possibly, if seeing Bobo go through her breakup. Possibly, is that you have been with Q now for some time. But your innocence has vanished. You didn't know anything before about relationships, but now you are an expert. You are matured. You notice men looking at you. You can feel their desire for you. The self-confidence you lacked before has given you a new sense of power. You dress differently too, like a woman who has no shame. I forget her, he says. I don't even remember her name. You're first, and you don't even remember her name. I don't believe it. Actually, I never knew her name. She never told me. We just dated once. We didn't even hold hands. Maybe it's better to call her just a friend. Did you kiss? You ask. Yeah, just once. Well, that means girlfriend, boyfriend. Who are you trying to trick? I'm not that dumb. Why does it matter? It was a long time ago. It wasn't even here. It was at school in